we, later on, we need your support regarding the YouTube channel, because YouTube channel is one of the very popular place nowadays for BMA. So I humble request to you. Later on, we will discuss regarding YouTube, and if it is required, we will record it again. Sure. Yeah. Shivani is there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Param, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Param, can we start the FET? Manish Bhai is there. And
Sure, sir.
so this is the confidence level of the experienced trainer, that even though it's 10 minutes late in his clock, he is giving perfect smile. And that's the beauty of the Manish Bhai. Thank you, Manish Bhai. Param, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Param.
So, first of all, I would like to welcome everyone to this Friday evening talk. And on behalf of the entire FE team, I apologize to Manish sir and all the attendees for the technical glitches and the delays caused because of that. But without further ado, I would like to welcome all of you to this meeting today. And first of all, I would like to welcome our speaker for today, Manish Jurani sir. Manish Jurani, yes sir. A brief introduction of Manish sir, because if we were to discuss the detailed introduction, I think probably we'll spend the entire hour of FET discussing Manish sir's resume. Manish sir is a Six Sigma Green Belt and a certified assessor under NSDC Skills Star Scheme. He is an empaneled facilitator at the AMA and BMA, and he is also an empaneled as a visiting faculty at the NIFT. He is currently pursuing his postgraduate diploma in training and development from the Indian Society of Training and Development. This was just a synopsis of his introduction. Manish sir is a passionate trainer with over 21 years of experience in training across various industries. And by industries, I mean big names such as Dr. Reddy's, IndusInd Bank, Reliance Life, Piramal Industries, Citibank, Max New York, SBI, HDFC, and probably there are pages long training exposure. He has lots of certifications, including certified master instructor trainer on soft skills presentation, instructor skill set certified. He's a certified trainer in cross-cultural competence, customer relations management, language and accent, accent utilization, customer service and relationship, telephone etiquettes, telesales, listening and interaction skills. He's also certified for delivering customer service in the Citigroup way. He is proficient. I'm sorry, I think there is some disturbance. I would request all participants to mute themselves, please. Can we have the host to mute all the participants? Hello. Can we have the host mute all the participants?
Abhishek Kumar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. So as we were discussing, Manish sir has a very bright and a very wide career, and it is indeed a moment of privilege and pride for us that he has spared his time for BMA for the Friday evening talks. And with this, I would like to ask Manish sir to take charge of the session today. Over to you, Manish sir.
Thank you. Thank you. May I just request the participants?
I think
yes. Yeah. Okay. And the host, can you also help me out in making a co-host? So in case somebody who is speaking, I can also mute them. Otherwise, I will have to wait for you and trouble you again and again.
Don't worry, Manish
sure,
bhai. She will make you, and at the same time, I request again to host me, because I am one of the experienced person, and definitely I will mute, and then somebody's create any glitch, we will remove them. Don't worry, sir. Thanks.
Sir, Manish sir, you are co-host now.
Thank you. Okay, so now I'll start. So today we have got this opportunity to interact. It's a Friday evening. So there are a couple of, I would say, not guide rules, but I would say guidelines, so that we can have a detailed discussion about and spend this into something interesting for both of us, which is me as well as you as well. Okay. So moving forward, I welcome you on behalf of BMA as well as myself, and I'm glad that you all are here on this Friday evening. Couple of things. Let's be active. When I say active, yes, if you have any questions, queries during the seminar, please raise your hand and I will be ready to answer them. Also, when I ask you certain questions, please participate accordingly, because passive is something which will hamper us. We might get into a meditation mode and doze off as well. So a humble request. Next is,
If I may interrupt, sir, I think this is actually a very good opportunity for us, that because we are in meeting mode, we will be able to get responses from all the participants also,
great.
which might not have been possible in the webinar mode.
Great. That's really great. So I would say make notes if you have some questions and you would like to ask me at the end of the session as well. I'll be very happy. Moving forward, this program is about developing ourselves. You can see the picture. It's about a seed which has been putting across into a sapling, and then it will take the journey forward. Because we all are into a situation where we always look out for opportunities to uplift, upgrade, and also enhance ourselves. So this is an opportunity which we have. Just couple of disclaimers before I get into the crux of the program. All the things we are going to discuss today are easier said than done. Yet a few people end up doing them and see some awesome results. Now, what I say so is, during any program that we attend, it could be a motivational program, a technical program, or any other program, we discuss a lot of things into the classroom area, or maybe a kind of a, dare I say, a simulation area. But when it comes into real life, it becomes a challenge. So here I would like to quote an example which is going to help us into understanding the implementation part. And when I say yet a few people end up doing them and see some awesome results, is a story about Starbucks. So Starbucks, all of we know, is a huge giant into the space that it is into. It took the owner of Starbucks, or maybe the promoter of Starbucks, 242 attempts to get the funding that he could start his business and take it to the next level, right? So how many of us are willing to hear the word no, or a rejection, or maybe a partial affirmation for at least 5, 7, 15, 20 times, right? It is very, very difficult. But this gentleman heard it for 242 times, and on the 243rd trial, he could get a yes. So that's why I'm saying that we need to go ahead and hear our inner thoughts, as well as our implementation needs to be synchronized accordingly. Do it for your own growth, progress, and satisfaction. Why I would say so? Because I am aware about in the Baroda Management Association Friday evening talks that we are, which is the FET, which is a popular one. There are so many people who are from the corporate world. There are so many people who are coming from the education space. There are so many people who come as business owners as well. So all I'm trying to tell you is, this is for your own growth, progress, and satisfaction. Don't restrict yourself that this is going to just work for a day or two, or maybe a month or a year. Okay. Because certain pointers which I will talk about may be impacting you for your personal lives as well. Okay. So let's move forward. Okay. The objective is the purpose. Why are we here? Which I will be beginning in a short span of time. Getting started, who am I? To understand, when I say who am I, what is my role? I would rather put it that way. The next one is understand where do you stand in terms of personal growth. So if you are at a certain level, how are you ascertaining that what is your personal growth or your objective, and how are you into terms of achieving it or overachieving it, or maybe into the path of achieving it. Next is transform your need good great journey, which I will be explaining it with an example which will come in a short span of time. Moving forward, there will be the next part, which is complete ownership and accountability for dealing with disruption and change management. And last but not the least, demonstrate behaviors for being growth oriented. So it's a journey, as I mean, talk about it. You start off with something which is the need level, then you transform into the next one, which is the good level, and finally you get into the last, which is the great level, which we will be discussing in the next 30 to 35 minutes of our conversation. Okay, so is everyone fine enough with the objective? Does anybody have any other thoughts or any other pointers that they would like to talk about, or be good to go? If you can just in the reaction mode, you can give me a thumbs up, or maybe in the chat section, you can type the letter Y so I can begin accordingly. Okay, thank you, Param. Okay, so I move to the next part, which is, thank you, Neha. Yeah, so moving to the next part, why are we here? So let us just understand why are we here. Okay, so first we will talk about what is my role. So we all are working professionals, or maybe we are working with some institutes. We are maybe working as consultants. We are working as business owners. So those are certain things which we are doing, right? However, we always go to office, we always go to our workplace, we always go to our client's place and do certain things, right? But have we ever thought about what is that I want to achieve after completion of my day, week, month, year? Has anybody ever thought about it? That what is that you think is your role in an organization? Maybe you can perform any job that you do. If one of you would like to unmute yourself, you can do that. So I'm just waiting for responses. We all get some KRAs and KPIs, right? So you can relate to that as well in your organization. If you are a business owner, then think that okay, your profitability is your objective, or you would like to have growth for your people, yourself, and likewise. Yeah, anybody would like to talk about?
Hello, sir. I am Neha this side.
Yes, Neha.
This could be a very small example since I belong to the education field. So, firstly is meeting all the daily requirements and all. That is different. But by the end of the day, there's only one thing that satisfies me the most, and that is my students' satisfaction. So that
Okay.
is something that I look up to like every single day, because with all the classes and all the lectures that we take, the response that I get from them is the utmost satisfying thing that I can have. And I look forward to it almost every single day, that after every lecture, it should be satisfactory for them and for me.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
So can I just put it into your parlance, which you use, the student? Can I name it as a stakeholder for you?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share? No?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So I am CA Param Doshi, and I am currently in practice.
Okay.
And my KPI or my goal, which I can say that at the end of the day, what I'm supposed to do is to ensure that my clients comply with their requirements, so their compliance is fulfilled, and at the same time, I'm able to deliver value to them. Some at least something better than what they had before.
Okay. Value add to your customers, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. 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 Okay. So we are all aware about that. This is what our objective is. If you see in the first examples also, if Neha was part of the education industry or the sector, she mentioned about stakeholder satisfaction. Similarly, you are into the financial domain and you are looking out that they should be having compliance, as well as you should add value to your customers, right? That's the objective that we have. So all of us know that my role is very, very critical, is that either I'm working in any domain, I should be giving satisfaction to my people, right? And for giving satisfaction, you have to keep on, I would not say keep on, it's like a gradual process. You need to keep on refining your processes, right? It cannot be that one size fit all, and also it is going to be something which is always an evolution. Like what was available 20 years ago as a process is not the same which is here today. So what I'm going to do is trying to use your examples and going to show you a video which is by a gentleman who is the main stakeholder. Okay, when I say main stakeholder, he is the owner of a company which is a very renowned company in the country today, and he has certain perspectives into telling that what is my role or what is that I would like to do when I go to my office every day. So I will keep a surprise of his name, but he is a big shot in the industry. So let's hear him out and then we will discuss. So are you able to see a screen which has a gentleman on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anybody who can help me out, who is this person? A little blur, but if you can see him.
Rajiv Bajaj.
Rajiv Bajaj, yes. So he has some insights on the particular thing, which is what is that he would like to achieve when he goes to his office every day. And he has an example which his mentor or maybe one of a leading consultant helped him out understand. So let's hear him out and then we will go about. Okay.
The second story, friends, I want to share with you is to do with a Japanese professor who taught me a great lesson in management in the most insulting way possible. His name is Professor Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi-san, we used to call him. When I first met him, I was in charge of Bajaj Auto's R&D and engineering. We were working hard on the Pulsar. And he asked me a simple question, and run it through your minds as I am telling you this story. He asked me, "What is your job?" I said to him, "Yamaguchi-san, I am Vice President Products." And his exact words to me were, "Stupid boy. That is your designation, that is not your job. What is your job?" So I said to him, "Yamaguchi-san, my job is to develop motorcycles." He said, "Oh, I see. You are working on the drawing board or on the CAD station." So I said, "No, I am not personally actually working on the drawing board." He said, "Then what is your job?" So there was a concept that time called design for manufacturing. I said to him, "Yamaguchi-san, my job is to make a design which is very, very efficient for manufacturing." He said, "Oh, now I understand. Working on the machine is your job." I was thinking to myself, I am Rajiv Bajaj and he's making a worker out of me. So I said, "No, Yamaguchi-san, I don't work on the machine myself." Then he said, "Then what is your job?" So I was getting very anxious by then. I said to him, "Yamaguchi-san, my job is to develop such beautiful motorcycles that all the boys sitting here should want to buy it. Maybe some girls also, I don't know." He said, "Oh, now I understand. You are salesman in dealer workshop. You are working in dealership." I said, "No, Yamaguchi-san, I am not doing that also." So then he looked at me and he said, "You don't design, you don't make, you don't sell, then what is your job?" Then after some time he smiled and he said, "I know you are a manager, only talking is your job." So he said, "You people, you so-called managers in companies, you don't do anything with your own hands. See, at least a surgeon, a cricketer, a musician, a chef, all these professionals have to work very hard with their hands. But managers only working with the mouth. Only yak, 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 blah, 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 blah all the time." So then I only asked him, "Please tell me what is my job?" And he said, "The third important word I want to leave with you, improvement is your job. Every day you must ask yourself, can you create an environment, can you create an atmosphere in your company so that everybody who comes there is motivated to do better than he did yesterday. If you can create this kind of empowerment, enablement, then you are doing your job. I was very happy because I thought I had learned something. Next day, Yamaguchi-san came to Bajaj Auto. First thing he asked me, what is your job? I said, Yamaguchi-san, improvement is my job. Immediately he asked me, good, what is your action? I said, what do you mean? He said, this is the problem with Indian people. In India, nobody does. Only Ganesha does, Ganesha does, Ganesha does. He said, yesterday I told you, improvement is your job. You accepted it. But you have not taken any action since morning. You are only talking again. Improvement is my job, improvement is my job. So friends, what I want to say to you through these two stories of 4 words is that as you go forward, whether you go into politics or you go into any other profession, ask yourself, when you have any pain in life, because life will offer you a pain or the other every now and then. When you have any pain, ask yourself, is my direction correct? Is my direction logical and ethical? Is my direction a shortcut? Am I taking a roundabout route, or is my direction correct? 2, if my direction is correct, is all of me aligned, or am I distracted? Am I fragmented? Am I looking here and there? Is my mind somewhere else, my body somewhere else? Or is all of me aligned in my direction? 3, every day you go to work, ask yourself, what can I do better today? And 4, whenever you get an idea to do something better, please put it into action. I think if we follow these 4 words, I hope some of you will agree with me, we can achieve both prosperity and happiness.
Okay. Quickly, two, 3 pointers. If somebody would like to mention, what could they take it from the video? Or you want me to just summarize? I can do that. Anyone would like to share? They can even put it into the chat box. Okay, so I'll summarize. What he tried to mention is that we all would like to have certain results, right, in life, which could be in our business, it could be in our workplace, which could be in our education, whatever we like to do. However, are we going ahead and following them and getting it implemented? And are we looking out for refining it and modifying it and finally implementing it as well? Right? Which is very, very critical to our success. And hence, this is the next 30 minutes that I'm going to talk about is that we all need to have a certain inclination and understanding that what we want to achieve out of the work that we are doing. And that will lead us to the next level and then move to the next level accordingly. Right? So the first point which he's trying to mention is that you need to have your direction correct, follow the direction, implement. If there are some roadblocks, then overcome the roadblocks, right? And finally, once you keep on doing it, you will achieve success. Now, moving forward, if you can see here with this example, which I'm trying to explain, which is the apple, right? So you can see here there are yes, Neha ji, thank you. That is implementation, and Deepak ji also, action speaks louder than words. Absolutely. And if you see here, this is the journey that all of us would have in our day-to-day life. So I'm giving this example of the apple. Now my question is, would you get first when you have the seed being planted and it gets into a plant and then the first fruit which comes, which color would it be? Would it be directly this red color, or would it be going through a process of green color? A stupid question, but I just wanted to get your insight. Yes, we will go through the process. Yes, thank you. We will go through the process. Yes, it will go through its ripening. Absolutely. However, the first thing which becomes from a flower to a fruit is this, and then it gradually goes into it. So, what I'm trying to explain it to you is that in our journey, also, whenever we start on getting some improvisation, or we would like to achieve some greater results or desired results, we will also go through this journey. We will not become great on day one. We will not become great on end of one project only. We might require some multiple projects. We might require some multiple trainings. We might require some multiple skill development programs, and it will help. So that is what the key is, that we need to focus upon moving from the levels which is going to be the need level, which is the minimum level, then going into the next level, which is your good level, and finally getting into the third level, which is the great level, right? So all of us who are there, let's say, who want to become a good professional, they will start off with this journey only. Just reflect 15 years back or 5 years back or even 5 months back. You started working in an organization, you started with giving your first interview, you got into this need level, you had the basic requirements being fulfilled. Then you moved into the next level, you got your 1 year and or maybe 2 years, you got as a promotion or maybe a grade level change, and then you moved into maybe a deputy manager or a manager, and the journey continues likewise. So junior management, middle management, and senior management. Likewise, you start off your business in a city which you are there, then you scale it up into a national level, and then finally you get into the international level. Or if you are having a turnover of X crores, then you get into 10x, then you get into 100 crores, you get into the acquisition phase, and likewise. So everywhere it's the journey, which is from the need level to good level to great level. And most of the people, what happens, they have certain issues which they pull it back, right? Maybe at the need level, maybe at the good level, and maybe at a great level as well. So if I may give a simple example, you see a lot of people who get success. However, after a period of time, they are not there. So maybe they move from the need level to the good level. However, they did not become a role model for others, right? There are people who become role model for maybe X years or Y years, but they do not become a role model for lifetime. So we need to understand that what is that level that we would like to achieve, what is that growth chart that we would like to have, and then we start progressing accordingly. And I have no qualms in saying that if you are reaching your own self actualization or maybe your own satisfaction level, then it is okay for you to complete your journey at the great level as well. So, for example, if you are thinking about being a departmental head by the end of your career, which is good, you don't aspire to become a CEO, no worries. Be the best departmental head. That's what I'm trying to say. If you believe that you want to be the best in your own city, sorry, you want to have restricted towards your own city, be the best in your city. That's where the greatness which I'm talking about. So people say ki, Are, he was a really good I would say motivator, he was a really good influencer, and likewise as well. So now, to doing this, we it looks very easy to understand. However, we really face with day-to-day problems. So what I'm trying to ask you is now in the next slide, which is write down all your concerns that you are doing. Think, I'm giving you 30 seconds to a minute. Just think about couple of issues or obstacles or challenges that you face in your day-to-day life in achieving your goal, right? You would like to achieve a certain result, you are not able to get it because of a certain issue. Okay, so can I request you is just take 30 seconds and just make a note of it. Okay, I'm not going to ask you what it is, I'm not going to ask you to share with me. All I am requesting is just think about that obstacle, and if you're done, just let me know. Are we good? Okay, thank you. All right. So now I'm going to take a very simple example from a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If somebody would have read it, they will relate to it easily. If somebody hasn't read it, don't worry. It will be in, I would say, self-explanatory to you after I complete the explanation. Okay. So let's see, what is the circle of concern? Circle of concern encompasses the wide range of concerns we have, such as our health, our children, problems at work, the state of the economy, or threat of war. So everybody who is there in this particular webinar or the Friday evening talk will have these concerns. If you are married, obviously you will talk about your children. If you are not married, then maybe your neighbor's children could be a concern, that you are into attending this program and maybe somebody is shouting in your neighborhood, or maybe your own child is coming and disturbing you, right? That could, and that's a very layman example, but what is the actual example of the children? I will give it to you. Our health, we all have, like we have seen in the last 1.5 year, the pandemic has impacted us so bad that we had a lot of issues by doing some rectification of it, or maybe taking precautions. Still we had some issues and we had to overcome them, right? So this is a concern which is going to be in the near future as well as in the next 15-20 years, of blood pressure, diabetes, or various other ailments such as cancer and so on and so forth. Our children, which I was talking about, is the example which I want to share, is that we have a concern that whether my child will have good education, will he be making a good career, will he be becoming a good human being? All these are our concerns. Problems at work, I'm sure most of you have noted it. Some of you mentioned fear, but fear for what is, could be fear of speaking in the open with the public, fear of speaking with our bosses, or fear of speaking with some vendors or clients likewise. And then there is this state of economy, which we have already experienced in this pandemic, as well as 4 years ago. There was this demonetization or GST regulation that has impacted us or that has affected us. The threat of war, it could be India versus China or India versus Pakistan. However, you see right now it's Afghanistan and Taliban is there, and we are having certain impact of it, right? Maybe some prices will go up, or maybe there will be some intrusion via the Kashmir Valley, or I don't know. I'm just giving an example, right? So I'm sure everybody who is there in this program today has got these concerns, isn't it? Is that clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now, what we can need to, we when we have this kind of concerns, we get jittered. We get, okay, I am not able to complete my work. I am not able to do justice to my clients. I am not able to perform the way I should be, right? So this leads us, pulls us back, and we come down. So we want to achieve a lot of things. We make up our mind, but when it comes to implementation, we get into a standstill or into an obstacle. So what is the process of overcoming it? So I'm going to go to the next part and make you understand certain things, and then I will come back to this part as well. Okay. So then we need to think about the next one, which is, there are concerns and what should I do? So then I will look into something which is circle of influence, which is within my control. Okay. What I'm trying to explain, which is circle of influence, I'll give an example as well. A circle of influence encompasses those concerns that we can do something about. They are concerns that we have some control over. So now if I go back to the slide and try to talk about in this, it is our health, right? Which I can take care of by having good nutritious food. Our children, I can take care of by giving them good education, by putting them into a good school, giving them a lot of good virtues, which I have learned from my parents or from my relatives. Problems at work, I will discuss it in detail. How would I go about? But tell me, even if you know Nirmala Sitaraman or Mr. Modi, I'm taking this example and this example here, right? Can you influence them? Can you influence them if you are not part of the government? No, right? So just understand, we in our day-to-day life, we start focusing onto those issues or on those problems which we do not have any control over, and we start getting dejected, jittered, or we pull ourselves back. However, we need to work accordingly and start thinking about the problems which we can get control over. And I'll give you examples that in this problems also, which I have highlighted, you get into certain issues which is not influenceable, and they become out of control as well. So if I talk about health, right? If I have got a viral fever which is happening right now, it's the seasonal viral fever, I can take a medicine and maybe I will get cured. But if it's chikungunya or dengue, then obviously I cannot take it very lightly. I need to go to a doctor. So there comes into a picture where I get an external influence, right? Second is, if I am not able to make my children educate the way I would like to, then I put them into tuitions. I give them an opportunity to go and study in a better environment which can empower them better. So this is where I get into the influencing mode. However, there will be certain things as well which will be out of our control, like for example COVID, which was invented or discovered or found 2 years ago, and some of us know that it is not a natural, I would say, scenario. It's an artificial made disease. So then we need to have it as out of control for the first 6 months, but now it is still getting into control. Why? Because we have got certain medicines, we have got certain vaccines, we have got certain understanding of the disease. Similarly, when I go into the children part, there would be certain scenarios that they are not understanding. By putting them into some tuition classes, then we take into the next level, which is putting them into a boarding school, and likewise. So what I'm trying to explain from here is, whatever should be a problem, we need to think about the influencing parameters, and we need to take some control over. So how do I put this forward? There will be certain things which I can control. There would be certain things which I can get influence from somebody. However, there will be some still conditions which will be out of control. Like, so please understand that you need to break up all your concerns into three segments, which is controllables. If you are not able to seldomly do it, individually do it, then get influence from somebody who is an expert or who has the particular solution for it. If you both are not able to do it, then you need to put it for time being into out of control, right? So it is very, very important that we need to understand that what is into my control, what I can get it influence from, and finally, something could be out of control. So if I may ask you a simple example in a work related area, how many of you don't know Excel, Microsoft Excel? There would be some people who might not know Microsoft Excel, right? So for time being, we would go and get it influenced by having a subject matter expert who can help us. Or if it's a day-to-day job, then I would get it into a control by having a training program attended. And once I get a training program attended, I can take it under my control. However, when it comes to, let's say, pivots or maybe certain macros, macros in Excel, which I would like to, then I will again go to a subject matter expert. However, if there is something known as VBA, then it still comes into the out of control area. So I will not say that it is cannot be controlled, but for time being, until and unless I don't get an expert who is into Excel, I would put it into the out of control bracket. So are we getting this understanding that we need to first of all think about the concerns? Either they are overcome by self or by somebody else, or it can be out of control as well. Like in doctors, when I say isko dua ki nahi, sorry, dawa ki nahi, dua ki zarurat hai. So for time being, it is out of control, but some medicines might come or some expert doctor might come and they might get it under influence, and then it would come under control as well, like the COVID scenario which happened. Okay. So this is what I would like to talk about. Now I'm going to show you a video which will explain you this phenomenon in a very, I would say, elaborative way. and you will understand it to the T. Still, if you have any questions or doubts, I will answer them post the understanding.
Really?
So just give me a moment. I'll share the screen, and it's a long video, but you will get the essence out of it and you will be able to understand it. Okay. So let me just share it. Okay. Are you able to see Navjot Singh Sidhu on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move.
Really? It's just full of grass. That pitch was absolutely obnoxious, you know. And Imran Khan ने आदेश दिया हुआ है कि अगर घास काटा मैं तेरी गर्दन काट दूंगा. And exact words. He told the groundsman अगर घास काटा मैं तेरी गर्दन काट दूंगा. Or 4 fast bowlers. 5th day of the test match. We've drawn 3 test matches. We've done brilliantly well. 5th day of the test match. India tottering at 22 for 4. 22 for 4. I'd been very recently married. बुरी हालत है. मतलब यहाँ से निकल रही है गेंद, वहाँ से निकल रही है, कंधे पे लग रही है, लाल हुआ पड़ी है छाती सारी, बुरा हाल. And I'm praying घर वाली को मिलूंगा भगवान कि नहीं मिलूंगा, आउट ही करवा दे और नहीं तो you know get me out of this situation, you know. 22 पे 4 है यार, पता ही नहीं लग रहा, कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रही है. And Ravi Shastri is batting at the other end. This is exactly what happened, you know, exactly what happened. There's a real snorter of a delivery from Wakar. उन दिनों में जवान था, बाउंसर मारता था, कहीं पता ही zoom करके just I did this, you know, I ducked, I did this. The instinctive reaction. So Ravi Shastri comes up to me, sir, very well left Sids. मैं कहा मुझे दिखी नहीं. I just didn't see it. So I was very candid to him. He said, हैं? सक पका के वो चला गया उधर, you know. Next over उसको पड़ा bouncer, खट करके, you know, it hit him on the glove and caught at gully, you know, he's out. Ravi Shastri chala ja raha hai, you know. I'm unlucky, you know. I'm unlucky. I should have gone to a church. I should have gone to a mosque. ये वो करके चिल्लाया जा रहा है. And I'm thinking you're the luckiest guy, boss. तू बाहर जा रहा है और मैं यहाँ झेल रहा हूँ. You're the luckiest guy, I told him. And suddenly, I see Tendulkar walk in, you know. And my eyes light up. मैं क्या गुरु अब बनी बात. ये तो बलि का बकरा है. ये तो आउट होगा. छोटू बच्चू है. ये तो आउट होगा और उसके बाद कौन है यार? कौन है उसके बाद? तो बस कुंबले शुंबले है, साइकिल स्टैंड की तरह, एक को धक्का मारो, गड़गड़ 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 ठपैक, you know, gone. I mean, now is the time to think positive. Come on, Sherry, think positive. I'm telling myself, you know. And Tendulkar comes in. First ball is cut into ribbons. 2 was zoom, अंदर से गई. मैं गया boss, गया. And the next delivery, something weird happens. Something that I've never forgotten all my life. It's etched in my memory. You know, it's a short bouncer, very vicious, quick as lightning, quick as flash. Tendulkar tries to hook, and the ball hits the inside edge of the bat and hits him on the nose. You know, hit him right on the nose. And he went down like a sack of potatoes. And the first thought that crosses my mind is, mar gaya chora. You know, I Vijender wali bhasha mein mar gaya chora, you see. And he fell dham karke niche. I ran towards him. Believe you me, his nose was totally smashed, out of place. There was blood gushing out, you know, all over his shirt. And he was doing, I thought, bachega, nahi bachega. You know, it was a gory sight, boss. And I shouted frantically, you know, frantically. I said, boss, stretcher. और सामने देखा तो मेरी थूक ही निकल गई. सामने अली ईरानी, plump as a partridge. His remedies were worse than Tendulkar's illness. His remedies were worse than Tendulkar's illness. And why do I say that? Because he has 2 remedies, you know. One was Ceridon tablet, other was an ice cap that he would put on your head, you know. And he was carrying that ice pack. मैं mar gaya guru, you know. And he started shaking Tendulkar, putting that Ceridon in his mouth, and oh my God, मैं कहा गया boss. And I'm walking towards the non-striker end, thinking, boss, 6 out हो गए, बचेगा नहीं बचेगा. By the time I reach the non-striker's end, I hear a squeaky voice. तुमको तेंदुलकर का आवाज पता है ना? Squeaky. मैं खेलेगा. And I just turn around and I look, you know, absolutely flabbergasted. You know, I still can't remember. And I look at him. नाक से रुई गिर रही है ऐसे, खून गिर रहा है. And he's shooing away, Dr. Ilani. मैं खेलेगा इसे. मैं खेलेगा. Ali, मैं खेलेगा. Oh my God, you know, in that situation, अगर मेरे चोट लगी होती तो मैं शाम को 5:30 बजे ही उठता मैच के बाद. I would have never woken up in that situation, you know. And I just look at him and something snapped within me. I said, Sardarji, तू 28-30 साल का है, वो 15-20 साल का है यार, क्या तू देख तो सही यार, ही इज प्रिपेयर्ड टू फाइट फॉर हिज कंट्री एंड यू थिंकिंग अबाउट योर वाइफ इन दिस सिचुएशन बॉस, कि मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा, यू नो. एंड वहां पे मेरे मन में वो बात आ गई, जो भरा नहीं है भावों से बहती, जिसमें रसधार नहीं, वो हृदय नहीं है, पत्थर है जिसमें स्वदेश का प्यार नहीं. And I woke up from my slumber. Believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, I knew the next delivery was going to be a yorker, big yorker, which is going to hit him either on the toe or the stump. या तो टांग बचाओ या फिर जान बचाओ या फिर डंडे पे लगेगी गेंद. और उसके पहले टूर्नामेंट में मैं भुगत चुका था. I had played this वकार, swinging in, swinging yorker, tried to drive it through the covers, और बाहर से गेंद स्विंग हो गया, लेग स्टंप बाहर. और मैं बाहर जा रहा था जब कपिल पाजी रास्ते में मिले मुझे, सरदार अंधा हो गया, नजर नहीं आती बॉल, सॉरी पाजी. एंड पाजी गए वहां पहलवान जैसे खड़ा करके, माइन स्वंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड द ऑफ स्टंप, हिज स्वंग फ्रॉम बिहाइंड द बम, जूम ठपैक, डंडा पहली बार, फर्स्ट बॉल खट, वो भी बाहर. जब बाहर आए मैं कुंबले की एनके लेके गया, मैं पाजी ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ दिख रही है, आर यू सीइंग इट, खटैक, smash. So I knew that Tendulkar is going to face the same yorker. Believe you me, with a splattered nose, he was standing 2 feet behind. 2 feet behind. He anticipated. In that state of mind, he anticipated. And the first ball that he faced after that, 150 kilometers towards him and 180 kilometers towards me, I did this, sup, and the ball went below my legs, tapak, holding pe laga, and wapas, khatak, and a pin drop silence. When Vakar just came up to him, he said, like that, he looked at him and gave him a solid stare. मेरी तरफ देखता, मैं सूरज चांद सितारे देखता था. But Tendulkar looked back at him. Looked back at him. I have never understood the Marathi language. I don't know. But those words that he said, I have never asked their meaning, because then maybe I would fear saying them. But because it was as it is, whatever he said, I want to tell you what he said. Because you are Maharashtrians, and he uttered those words in chaste Maharashtrian. I don't know what it was, and I still don't know what it was. I've never had the trouble or took the trouble to ask what it is. He just walked up to Vakar Yunus, and Vakar gave him a choicest, all that, and he looked at, he says, butter, tuja aitsa go. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it was. But the exact lines, I'm telling you the exact lines that he said. He said, butter, and the other thing, Vakar backed off. Ladies and gentlemen, young Tendulkar scored 57 not out. Kharbuze ko kharbuza dekh ke kharbuza rang badalta hai. Yours truly, 97 not out. It's a world record, and it stands till date. Now this is what happens to courageous people. They become achievers. You've got to be a believer first. You've got to be a believer first, and then you become an achiever. Doubt creates a mountain, and faith tunnels through that mountain. It just erases that mountain. That's what champions are made of. That's what makes an achiever and a failure. It's just how you tackle that situation. Do you have the tenacity to cloud of a difficult situation? Or are you a bechara? Sympathy is for the weak, and the weak go to the cooking pot. Don't become a bechara in life. Because the world loves a bechara. जो रो रहा होगा ना, उसके वो पीठ थपथपाएगा, क्योंकि ये तो मेरे से भी गया गुजरा है यार. शाबाश. I hate it. Because those who achieve never point a finger at anybody. Those who achieve take the burden squarely on their shoulders and carry it. They will never ever crib. They will never ever cry. The biggest room in this world, ladies and gentlemen, is the room for improvement. And the biggest disease in this world, दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा रोग, मेरे बारे में क्या कहेंगे लोग. Get out of that disease. Get out of that rut. Just tell yourself, I am responsible for my actions. I have to lift myself. Why should I compete with others? Why should I pull others down? Why should I abuse others? Why can't I make myself better?
Okay. So hope the message is very clear and everybody is able to understand. Still, I'll just summarize in the next 1 minute. Initially, he was thinking about going home and not facing the tremor of Waqar Younis, Imran Khan, and Wasim Akram. But when he saw Sachin Tendulkar going down and coming up, he got him that confidence. So it was out of control. However, it became from Sachin Tendulkar's influence, it became in control, right? That was the essence of it. However, if you see earlier, there was Ravi Shastri also, who was giving him the same confidence, who was telling him that you are doing good, but he took it in a negative thought process. So please think there would be some influencers, and why I'm sharing is those who have got those bosses who sometimes push you against the wall, those who have got certain times their seniors or their parents who push you against the wall. It's not about making you fail, it is about helping you overcome those failures, and hence they would like to push you against the wall. So think from that perspective as well, right? We have just 1 minute left as per the scheduled time, but with the permission of Paramji and Sir Nimil sir, can I take 10 minutes and complete the remaining part of it? Is that okay? Okay, thank you, sir. So now I'll go ahead and take the conversation further and take the another topic, which is going to be about there will be certain scenarios which you might have wrote in your own notepad or maybe in your mind that you can control, right? You right now can think you can control. However, there will be certain things which you still feel are out of control. Is that correct? Or was it like every uh, point that you had an obstacle or a concern is now overcome by the thought process, by the uh, methodology of area of concern, and how do you take it into area of influence, and so on and so forth. So is everybody's problem being resolved, or there are certain problems which are still unresolved? I would like to ask. Okay, so I'll still continue with the topic. So if there are some people who have got this some issues which have not been resolved, how do I go about? So I'm going to give you this another thought process, which is the growth versus fixed mindset. This is from a psychologist, Carol Dweck, who is there into the American University. She is a leading psychologist, and she has wrote a book, Growth Mindset, right? And she talks about one example which I'm going to share to you, and which I have I would say modified into my thought process. Okay. So for this, what I'll do is I'll just use the whiteboard for a moment, and I'll ask you to give me answers. So there is something which is known as success, and there is something which is known as failure, right? However, I'm not going to talk about failure. I'm going to talk about is another theory which is less success. Okay, so I'm going to cross this. Just give me a moment. I'm going to cross this. Okay, we will be talking about success and less success. Okay, and I'm going to ask you certain things. So what is, according to you, the definition of success, and what is, according to you, a definition of less successful, according to you? Anyone can unmute and just let me know your thoughts. Okay. No worries, I'll give you an example. So if, let's say, I come first in my school, it's success, right? However, if I come third in my school, that will be regarded as less successful in the examination, isn't it? However, it could be that out of 600, I got 598 as first, and out of 600, I got 594. Okay, so for me, it is Okay, successful means the efforts passed, failure efforts already made, but success not achieved. Okay, so that's the failure part, Kalpesh ji. I'm talking about less successful. Udham Singh ji, meeting expectations means success. Okay, so here if you see, it's 600, 598, 600, 594, right? So one is regarded as successful and one is regarded as less successful. However, it could be that this person has scored 98 in one subject, and the rest 5 subjects of 100, he has scored 100 out of 100. Okay. And this person has scored, 99 marks in 5 subjects, and one subject he has scored 100. Okay. So, 99 in all 6 subjects. I'm so sorry. Right. So if you see here, now the definition for success would change a little bit, because this person has scored in one subject 2 marks less, but this student has scored 99 across, right? Now, it could be a modification in your thought process. So what I'm trying to say, that when you are having the growth mindset, you would like to transform from less successful to success. And what is that you need to do? A less successful person always does things that he likes. However, a successful person would like to do things that he doesn't like, and over a period of time, it becomes habits, and then they get into the internalization. So how do I give this example? With a very simple thought process is that less successful, I'm not saying he was not successful, but over a period of time he became less successful, Vinod Kambli. And the successful person is Sachin Tendulkar. Why do I say so? Because if you see in the 1989 series, he got hit on his face. He had worn an helmet. He was all guarded. It was not that he was just doing as a 16-year-old and going into the open field saying, okay, I will fight the enemy and I don't care about it. He did not have a careless attitude. He was all geared up, all accessories were there with him, right? Still, he got hurt. But from that day till he retired, if you see him, any of the matches, any of the places, he did have his accessories, which is his gear, full-fledgedly been worn. So you would never see Sachin Tendulkar wearing a cap. You will never see him without the elbow guard and the thigh guard. So he made it. And why did he get into it? Because he had a goal, right? Which is, we all know, playing for the World Cup, playing for India and winning the World Cup, representing India and winning it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the growth mindset, which is making you towards move to success again and again and periodically, would be when you have your goal in mind. And when you have it transform into your habits, when you have it been internalized, then the path of success is a short thing. Whereas Vinod Kambli, if you see, he had some issues of playing his work around, and the way he would be also having his glamorized image portrayed in front of his fans and others, he got diluted into it. Whereas you had Sachin Tendulkar, clear-cut focus, and if you see, he would have missed his parent-teacher meetings for his children. He was the person who on the second day, like his father passed away, on the second day he was playing against in the World Cup, and because his parents and family wanted him to succeed as well. So I'm not saying it's only your mindset, but it is also your environmental mindset. But you need to keep on thinking accordingly, and that's how you move from the fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And for that, you need to have these 5 ingredients being understood. So it is the fixed mindset. It is ready to avoid challenges, gives up easily, See effort as a fruitless or worse. मेरे को क्या फायदा होने वाला है? Ignore useful negative feedback. And if I'm trying to explain it to you with example, Sachin Tendulkar had got a feedback from one of a waiter, a steward in one of the IPL matches, and he modified his stance as well, right? Feel threatened by the success of others. There are so many players who came, went. There were so many players who were better than him in terms of style and other things, but he never felt threatened. He would always like to learn from it. Like we always know about the famous match between India and Pakistan. Virender Sehwag had his famous uppercut. Sachin Tendulkar also played the uppercut in that particular match in the to the other bowler as well. So what the people who would like to have a growth mindset is they embrace challenges. It's like they do not say why me, they say try me. Persist in the face of setbacks. So perseverance, as I mentioned, 24 years is a long time. Dedication. If you see him practicing before any matches, he was there. See effort as a part to mastery. So he was being trained, he was being coached by Mr. Ramakant Achrekar. So was Vinod Kamli. But the effort that he used to put going from one place to another and every matches, he got into the master blaster image. Learn from criticism. There were so many players, so many, sorry, commentators, critics, everybody. We have even done it. Okay, ऐसे खेलना था, ये करना था. But he always was ready to learn and find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. Barring a paddle sweep shot, which Mahendra Singh Dhoni or other players, or helicopter shot, I have seen Sachin Tendulkar trying to work around his technique for each and every part. So that's the reason he could achieve the growth that was there for him, right? So these are some insights which I could cover in this limited time that I have. I would thank Baroda Management Association for giving me this opportunity. And now for the next 5 minutes or the time that you want, I'm open for questions. If anybody has any questions.
Hello.
Yes, Chirag ji.
Yes, sir. First, from BMA side, we would like to thank you very much for this wonderful session.
Welcome.
And your knowledge speaks. We can say that we are very proud that you are here. And first question we have is that, sir, can we consider population at this moment? Population of world is continuously increasing. And in the COVID, we have found this is one of the concern for all the government of the world to manage various resources to save the humanity. So, can we consider population is our growth concern?
Okay, there are two aspects to look into it. One, we are a country which is still into a developing country, right? So we would consider ourselves maybe a scenario wherein we have the privilege, right? If you see Canada or if you see other countries, right, they have very densely population, so they are looking out for people, and hence the competition is not there. So I would take it, it's like a dichotomy, catch 22 situation. For some countries it's a blessing in disguise, for some countries it's a problem area. So it could be that most of the companies are now getting into the globalization to localization. So if you see, so many companies are now focusing upon things to work in their original country, the birth country or maybe the business country, and then they are expanding. So Byju's, Unacademy, all these are edtech startups. If you see, they are slowly and gradually ramping up and taking over into the US, Canada, and other developing countries as well. They are not restricting, despite having a population which is 1.3 billion or maybe 30 billion students. They're still looking to expand in a rapid way. Hope I have answered, Chirag ji, to your question.
Hi, sir. This is Neha this side again.
Yeah, Neha.
while listening to you, I realized that, when we were talking about meeting expectations and, when we were talking about growth and everything, it just struck me that, sometimes the problems and issues that we have, and especially when we were talking about things that are not under our control, we take them as, it becomes a reason for not working towards something, with 100% zeal. We have this laid back attitude कि अच्छा ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता, it's just not possible. So since it is not under my control, so I cannot do it, henceforth I don't do it. That's the approach that we follow, and which is why I said that, it's just that, if I am able to meet my own expectations, that is where I am most satisfied, instead of hoping that somebody else would tell me ki, okay, you are successful or you're not. But if I can meet my own self expectations, that is what brings success to me and happiness to me.
Absolutely. So I would like to just add upon, if you need to have your own personal growth. See, I'm just giving a very simple example. 3 times food can be also available in Gurdwara or maybe a Swaminarayan temple, right? Why we are running after so many luxuries, and we would, after, like, we want to get into the nirvana zone, right? Self-actualization in the Maslow's law of hierarchy. However, everybody's thought process is different. They would like to have maybe a peace of mind by having a security. They would like to have a peace of mind of having a spiritual growth. It could be likewise as well. So everybody's personal aspirations and personal requirements would take them to the next step. Sachin Tendulkar excelled because he wanted to play for India, and he was being guided by his family members as well as the coach, which was external, and he performed his way around. Whereas Vinod Kamli was also there, but he had some setback because the opposition could, the environment of the opposition. So I'll give you an example, which is Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh were the 2 bowlers who bounced the ball so, and it was so difficult for Vinod Kamli to overcome. He could not lead his way out to overcome it, and hence it was a backdrop for him. Right? Thank you. Anybody else has a question?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the answer. We have one more question.
Please.
Book name you mentioned, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is the book, which you can refer to. This is just one concept, which is the first habit, being proactive. I just took that one concept which was there, right? And I tried to modify it into our day-to-day parlance.
So, as a conclusion from that book, which message you want to give us today?
Okay, so it talks about being proactive, and it talks about not being reactive, right? So we always like to have the word responsibility. It says the ability to provide a response is within me. Either I do it self, either I do it with the help of someone, and keep on discussing so that I can get a solution maybe after 5 years, 10 years, or maybe 5 months, 10 months as well. So the example is of from the movie Manji the Mountain, right? It took him 20 plus years to pave the way. So he did it himself. He could have also taken somebody else's support and did it. So that could have also been done. So rather than being reactive, think about being proactive. Okay, Chirag ji?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Paramji.
Yes. So I would like to ask another question that in the beginning of the session, we discussed about KPIs.
Correct.
Right. So, you know what the organization expects out of you. So organizations will set their KPIs. But sir, when we are talking about success, the most important thing that we consider is our own personal success, meeting our own personal goals.
Correct.
So, sir, if you could throw some light on how we can develop our personal KPIs, because organizational KPIs will be developed by their managers,
right? So,
and there will be consultants. But what about our personal KPIs?
Okay. So, Paramji, I had given the example of Sachin Tendulkar. Now I will take you as a reference. So, if let's say you would like to buy a car, or you would like to buy a house, right? you would have to satisfy or give value addition to your clients, correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's your own goal. But can you do it by doing a half-hearted job or by doing a partially value-added service for them?
No, sir, definitely not.
So please understand, we have got something which is known as SMART goals, and there is something which is known as smarter goals. So the day you think about smarter, now what is smarter? Specific, measurable, achievable, or attainable, realistic, and time bound. That's your SMART goals, which is normally into the KPIs. However,
Yes, sir.
ENR is emotional and relevant. Why do you want to buy a car? I said, I asked you, right? You want
Yes,
to buy
sir.
a car, so you want to have a comfort. So that's your emotional and relevant. So if I am thinking that I will get 5 customers who are difficult to handle, however, they will help me in accomplishing the goal of my car. Am I looking out for challenges? Yes. Am I looking out for more customers like this? Yes, because it is ultimately helping me fulfill my goal, right? So as a
Right, sir.
consultant, when somebody tells me you would like to do a training on a holiday, which is a Sunday or maybe Janmashtami or Ganesh Chaturthi, I say yes, no worries, because it is helping me in accomplishing the goal, and I will take a week-long vacation with my family on a day which is very peaceful, because on a day of Janmashtami or Ganesh Chaturthi, everything will be crowded. So I don't like to go into crowd. Rather than that, I will go into an off season, have my quality time spent with my family, and that will be a week-long vacation. So that's my objective. Make sense?
Yes, sir, definitely. And sir, one more thing when we discuss KPIs. So whenever we study KPIs, we understand that it is based on the concept of what gets measured gets done.
Correct.
So, sir, would you like to share some insights on how exactly do we measure this progress? Like we set our goals, but how exactly do we measure the KPIs?
Okay. So like Mr. Bajaj also mentioned, that you need to go ahead and doing something which is process improvement. So process improvement is into 2 aspects. One is for the day and second is for the future. So are you planning, which is the fixed mindset, is achieving my goals for the day, but it is also keeping a buffer for next day or future forward as well. So if you remember, every one of us has 12 months to work, but most of the times we have not a 12-month planning. Sorry, we have a 12-month planning. Instead of that, we should have 10 months, because 1 month could be because of certain external conditions. 1 month could be my medical conditions or my family conditions as well. So I should be planning in 10 months rather than 12 months. And when I start planning accordingly, what happens? I am always having some stretch targets, which is the growth mindset. And believe me, when we have the growth mindset, we are able to take it forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your insights. If we have any
Yeah,
questions from the
yeah,
participants,
sir.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
this side, Rajiv, sir. Quite straightforward sort of a question, sir. As it is always being said, whatsoever you have done, if you are going to continuously do, then you will continuously get what you have continuously got. My straight sort of a question is, sir, how to improve this particular parameter of doing same thing again and again?
Okay.
Means what?
Okay. So if you have to do something again and again, then you need to look out for ways which is making you happy. I believe into that. If it's making me happy at the end of the day, when I'm going back to my home or from my office or from my client's place, I should be feeling happy about it. When I say happy, I should be feeling satisfied about that. Yes, I have done justice to my job and I have given my wholehearted effort. One. Second is, get inspired from people who are working along with you, right? So if I may give you, Rajiv ji, you were working in an organization and you started your, I would say, first day. If both of you are at the same level, be happy and be good about it, feel good about it. But if, let's say, there is one person who is higher or one person who is at lower, just try to think why you are higher and why you are lower and keep on working towards it. So most of the companies who are successful today, they always think about the future. So Apple, right, is a very classic example. They have been into business for last 30 years. They're keeping on improvising. If you see iPhone 13 will have something better and which is not expected by the customer. Again, 100 रुपए में 100 रुपए का talk time मिलता है, we are okay with it. Today 125 भी मिलता है with the form of cashback, we are okay with it. But can we get 100 का something better as a reward which will help us? So I will find out newer ways. And also I'd like to talk about is, for a growth mindset, you need to not only focus on your own sector, you need to focus on any industry. Let's say Singapore Airlines is one of a classic example. I can send you across the case study. They do not compete for the food from the airlines that they have, the sectors that they fly in. They compare with the best 5-star hotel in the town, right? If they want to talk about the technology, they compare with Cisco, they compare with IBM, they do that. All their feedback mechanism which is there is from the ground level to the top level, not from the top level to the ground level. If let's say they do not, so I'm just giving you an example which is thinking on the feet. If at 30,000 feet they do not have food available, they offer salads. They have their staff who can make salads in flight and then offer it. It's like something is better than nothing. So these are all certain things that they imbibe upon, rather than just thinking about that their job is to complete the normal airline industry domain. Hope I have answered, Rajiv ji.
Okay. One question from my side.
Sure,
Manish
sir.
bhai.
Sure, sir.
मनीष भाई, चिड़िया छुप गई खेत तो पछताने से क्या? चिड़िया ने टाइम मैनेजमेंट फॉलो नहीं किया, चिड़िया ने गोल सेटिंग फॉलो नहीं किया. That's the crisis. Now, how Chidiya should handle the crisis?
Okay. So, sir, this is a very classic which I normally face with managers, which people say that I told him everything, I gave him all the information, but he is not performing. What should I do? So I'll give you this example which happened in one of my financial domain company, which is a leading company now, Bajaj Group again. There was a manager who was working in one of the other multinational. He said, I went ahead and told my subordinate that if you perform your job in 20 days, I will give you 1 month incentive, which you are able to get it. The person went home and said, sir, any which ways on the 30th day, you are going to scold me now only. So please understand, we are giving lot of insights to people. With my child also, I'm telling him, do this, do that, do that. Is he getting influenced by it? No, because he does not want to do it. He does not feel it. And when I don't understand, if simple example, he likes to watch cartoons. Can I give him example of cartoons and make him understand the theory of it? I'm giving you an example. Every night we watch Instagram reels wherein there is one channel which is giving him maths training. Okay, maths tricks, sorry, not training, maths tricks. Okay, and he's learning. Those are factors and multiplication and everything. So he wants to learn that way rather than me telling him. So that's one. Second is, sir, there will be this 80-20% rule. 80% of the people will do 20% of the work and 20% will do 80% of the job. I always say you cannot make everybody a galloping horse. You cannot make everybody a chetak. Otherwise, you will land into problem. If you have two people and one profile to be promoted, you will lead into issues. So you need to make them compete and also look out for some additional skills which they develop and then take them forward. Right? So then 20% को भूल जाइए, 80% पे फोकस करिए और 20% पे इस तरीके से फोकस करिए कि वो आपका प्रोफाइल ले ले.
I fully agree with you, but when we see the crisis, say for example, very honestly, I wish to quote the present example at 6:15. What's happened at BMA? BMA share around 6,000 WhatsApp and by mail, everything this today's invitation. And at 6:19, person is driving from Hajira to Baroda. Chirag Sudhar has identified there is a problem in a webinar link. So recently, just 2 days back, we have received a very big package from one of the MNC as a gift. Now, at 6:20, when the speaker is from Ahmedabad, person is traveling from the Desh to Baroda. Another person is sitting in the BMA office. Third one, Shivani is at home. Deepak Bhai, our president, at Sangam, in his office. I am in my office. Param is driving from Anand to Baroda. So how to take the decision? Someone is driving, someone is sitting. We don't know where is. So that's a big crisis. So all the 300 FET कोऑर्डिनेशन एक्सपीरियंस जीरो हो गया क्योंकि दिमाग की बत्ती गुल हो गई कि क्या करें अभी सबको बोल दिया जाए क्या बोल दिया जाए then only one thing is in the confidence that because of this young forces joined the BM and Shivani and all the Param immediately they said let's go for the parallel खेल तो होके रहेगा आज का then that's the reason that we are 32 participants again 50-60 in the Zoom webinar and waiting for another many people at YouTube but crisis handling at 0 hours it's very tough time what you suggest basically because I understand कि दिमाग की बत्ती गुल हो गई कि अब 8 लोग अलग अलग जगह पर बैठे हैं ऑनलाइन करना है स्पीकर अहमदाबाद से है स्पीकर इज आफ्टर 4-5 I think 5 years you are coming to FET तो क्या किया जाए मतलब तो what is your experience in the crisis
Okay.
आपके लिए तो कॉमन होगा ये चीज
Okay. So, sir, now the 1.5 hour that we spent is there. I would request that those who have participated, we can just take a consensus whether this was helpful for them, float it as a feedback to the next, I would say next FET, and I will rerun this program, sir, with some more insights, right? So that will be one of the, because it's gone, right? It's gone. I cannot take the 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hours back. So if these people are there, I would request you would have got the names of these people, send them across a feedback form, and I'm going to request everyone, take some time, give your judicious feedback, and please help us out in improvising. So we will improvise it accordingly for the next time, sir.
Manish bhai, frankly speaking, it is my observation, my and Deepak bhai. Deepak bhai is also in offline mode. And I'm continuously watching the backside of the Zoom analytics part. In last 1.5 years, my personal experience, you may correct me, Mohan bhai also correct me. Mohan bhai, SSD is my guru basically from Surat. So in last 1.5 years, we have experienced at BMA in any online program. If at the end of the program, if you are receiving the response of 80-85% participant, means there are figure of 100 out of 100, 85 is continuously connected for more than 80% time. That's a grand success. And today I can see there are only 4 participants at the left during the talks. That's the great thing. Second thing, immediately we have announced, Shivani has already announced that this entire talk show is available, recording 100% recording available in YouTube channel. Then within half an hour, we'll upload this video. In fact, we are always organizing the live telecast, but this time we will upload and again in the night, it will publish to all the social media and WhatsApp people. WhatsApp people tomorrow morning when the Shivani and Shivangi will join the office and today. So definitely success will be there. Looking to the present program. That's Param. You like to say something?
Sir, after all this crisis, as we discussed, I would like to say one thing that, seeing the brighter side of this is actually a blessing in disguise. Because till now we have been conducting all the FETs in the webinar mode. And, only the panelists can speak. The participants cannot interact. At most, they could have written in the chats. But sir, I think this meeting mode is really beneficial for everyone. Because, as we saw today, Manish sir was asking questions and there were participants who were ready to answer. They were willing to answer. They wanted to put forth their points, and even the question answer session became interactive because, everyone put forth their own questions instead of us as the moderators taking the questions. So I would like to say, and I would like to also say, like, for the benefit of all the participants, our president Deepak sir actually suggested that we should look towards doing more of the FETs in the meeting mode instead of webinar mode so that everyone can participate. So I would like to say, sir, yes, we had a crisis. We had, and it was a last moment crisis, a 0 hour crisis. But I think we also got a blessing in disguise. We also got something new today.
Yes,
so
absolutely
yes.
right.
If we have Chirag Bhai online, yes, Chirag Bhai. So I invite you to invite you for a formal vote of thanks for this session.
Thank you, Param. And as Nivil Bhai told, I was just traveling from Dahej, and uh, for some time I was stuck in the traffic also. So, and before that we had this crisis. And when Shivani managed with the new link, and Nimil sir and you also helped. So at that time we were kind of slightly relaxed, and 3 or 4 members give me message, this link is also not working. So immediately I informed, and as a team we managed it. So sir gave us very good examples of cricket, um, and along with that we want to give example of football team. So as a team this show was a successful, and we definitely we can conclude this session with appreciation from BMA side, that his knowledge is excellent, and it gave a very good message to improve ourselves day to day for getting success in our life. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, sir, and thank you everyone for attending FET. And now I would like to invite you all to our upcoming MTP, that is Leadership Through Emotional Intelligence, which is on 8th of September in Taj Vivanta. So everyone is please invited for this. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Good night, everyone. Have a happy weekend.
Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nivil bhai.
I'll make my leave, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
With,
Thank
with
you.
due with due respect, Mr. Ajit Jain comments. By limited time to justify such an important subject, let us have a next session by the
Sure,
same
sir.
speaker. Mr. Jain, yes, 45 minutes. It's just a trailer for Mr. Manish Surani's ability. So we will organize a full day session, management development program.
Thank
Manish
you.
bhai, તમારા વતી જાહેર કરી દીધું જ મેં.
Thank you,
Sorry
sir.
for
No
you,
problem.
with
No
you,
problem,
with your
sir.
permission.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
thank
be
you.
willing
Thank
to
you.
willing to do that, sir. I'll be willing
Thank
to
you.
do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohan bhai. Join our માટે.
Thank you, Nivil bhai.
I'm very happy.
Actually, I was in journey, so as I reached the home, I started
Oh,
joining.
oh, thank you.
4
Thank you.
થી 6:30 વાગ્યા સુધી બસમાં હતો ને I immediately
Yeah.
as soon as I see your message, I will join.
Yeah. ચિરાગ
was
અને
very good.
પરમ એમાં ચિરાગ માટે ખાસ છે. Chirag, anytime you call the Mohan bhai was my professor, basically.
Okay.
He was my guru. So he's a master blaster in process automation. Anytime, yeah. Thank you, Mohan bhai.
Thank you,
for the
thank you,
same.
Nivil bhai.
Thank you.
Or Chirag sir, Manish sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Session was very, very good,
Thank you.
informative, and I'll pass on it to my students.
Sure.
Yeah,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Welcome.
everybody.
Welcome. Take care.